Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. It is the 21st. It is a Tuesday, and bonds have been under pretty significant pressure. We're closer to the lower end of the range, and if we come over here and look at the charts, we've got, you can see a pretty good trend, but we did have a little bit of a move up overnight. Had a little bit of a move up overnight, but we've been mostly down, making a new low there. And the E-mini appears to still be risk on. Now, got to be careful here. The E-mini is in a precarious situation still. But the issue that I'm seeing is that there doesn't appear to be super strong the larger trend in the Treasuries is down. So even if the E-mini completely falls apart, we might not get very much out of the Treasuries, or if we do, it may only be very, very brief. And it looks to me like my live dashboard's still not working inside of OBS for some reason. That kind of sucks. But I do see that Wrong got first privileges today, so that's cool. I also see that my video from yesterday has been removed because we used music, and even though it's supposed to be stream safe, they still killed it, which is just ridiculous, and I'm outraged. But that's what happens. All right, well, I would like to see maybe a little bit more move up, but let's see. They seem to be absorbing at 05. That might be, I might want to take one just like right on the open, but let's see what they do. Hmm. 28th, I have a package coming next week. My birthday is on a Friday. Oh, that's interesting. Memorial Day is on the 27th this year. That's going to be interesting. Okay, tick down. Tick back up. I'm feeling a lot better today than I did yesterday. Yesterday fucking sucked. But I don't know if there's going to be quite as good of opportunity today. Good morning, Uzi. I'm mad that my thing doesn't work as well. Okay, that bid is pumping. Here just before the open. Okay, so there's the open. Oops. Need auto. Okay. Well, if I don't get filled because of that little kerfuffle, that little mistake there, I'm gonna be super pissed. China has no information on Trump-Xi meeting at G20 in Japan, despite Trump's earlier announcement, Money China says. Okay, well, they filled me. They filled me on a sweep. So that's not necessarily what I want to see. Okay, they took it down, and it was a pretty aggressive pushback. My eye is watering. I must be allergic to something, guys. Okay, well, they took it, but the offer at 05 is not incredibly impressive, nor is there much pulling at 04 half. Nor do either of the other two instruments look incredibly. Okay, that's a little better. That's a lot better. Okay. So they did take the 04 half, but just super tepid, let's say. I'm looking here. Do we have like an area where we could be downside? Well, I think that 124.02 is a good first target if we do get moving to the downside. And then below that, 124 even. Nicholas, good morning. It's a little bit lighter on people today. I wonder why. Well, I thought it was odd that we had so many people watching yesterday. They must have been like, look, Sethy's going to do really terrible today. We should all watch. Now that that's all over, I have to admit that the mistakes that I made yesterday really scared me. But I think that we got to just, go with the plan and just get back on the horse here. Okay, so they're not ready to just break 04 half. They're incredibly stuck for the open. I mean, it's not like it's unusual in the longer in the history that I've seen Treasuries to see it be a little slow off of the open and for them to take a good good 10, 20 minutes to really decide where they're going to go. But lately, they've been tending to just make the moves like right away. So this is unusual compared to recent action. Why is the default day? We need week. Everything. There we go. So they did tick up. It is now ranging back and forth. It's interesting. The 04 half was looking to be like it was the weak one and it was the center, but no, it has now become 05, the open, where I took a trade. That's a little suspicious. So we now have an iceberg at 05. Or a potential iceberg at 05, I should say. Okay. Well, 3,000 traded there, but they did hold an offer. There is an unusual number of large bids below us at several levels. Only one level here at the bottom of the day, the low of the day. How come this ZV is not, there we go, fix that. Cumulative delta hasn't really moved yet either. Huawei to consider rivals to Google's Android system. Okay. Good luck with that one. Have fun. Not interested. I'm surprised that they didn't be like, well, we will make our own operating system. That wasn't a very good. That wasn't a very good Chinese accent. That was terrible. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. But I am surprised that they didn't say, "Oh, we'll just make our own. We'll make our own operating system now. We don't need you, Google." Everybody would laugh. I think that's what would happen. Okay, flipping the DOM there. E-mini is experiencing a little bit of buying pressure at the moment. It's actually a reasonable amount of contracts trading in ES. Holding even now. Like they just don't want to do anything. I don't think I've ever seen a zipper this long on the open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, did I not turn it to the right thing? Sorry. There we go. So dumb. Thank you, Uzi. So the issue is that I don't have the chat window over here is not working. Let's just see if I close it and I open it back up if I can get it to fix. No. It's like it doesn't like me anymore. Which is sad because it was really useful. Let's close it and keep it closed for a while and see what happens. Dummies. See, we do get like maybe it's going to tick down, but it looks like it's just robots trading it right now. I don't see anybody really making big moves here. 04.5 does go offer again if you trade into 04. So that does get our tick down. I'm thinking if we do end up breaking the low here, which is a really big if. I mean, this is just really slow, guys. But if they do decide to push down there, I think this 124 even might be really likely. And there's even some big ones well beyond that. Usual number of large bids below us. 05 is the line in the sand for me, and ZB looks like she wants to sell off, but there's lots of bids down there to really catch it. Yeah. I'm going to take a picture of this. that's not it. The thing is that sometimes when you have those large bids like that, the market just goes right into them and then they pull or whatever the deal is, or they just force it through it. I think that the trend yesterday was consistent enough, and the setup today is kind of the same. So it's like, unless we get some risk coming into the equity indexes, I think we could continue to move down right through all of those. But it's so slow. This is really slow. Like to have taken 04 half and to trade into 04. But they're still only holding 1,300 contracts on it and it's not moving. That's got to mean that it's just robots trading it. Let's see here if I got any. Yeah, here's John's notes. What did he say? I'm not certain that the overnight low is in yet for ZB as it stands now. The bull bear zone is in the 0509 area, which we are below. I'm bearish on ZB this morning as long as it continues to trade below last week's midpoint 149.16. And there's not much on the economic schedule. It doesn't really point out a ton of significant levels below us. The offer was able to build up to 1,700 over here now. E-mini still kind of ranging, but it still looks like an unusual amount of volume. Lucas says that he's short bias as well. I'm almost half wondering if everybody's already in a position and that's why it's not moving. I don't know. This is a little unusual to me. I keep thinking, well, like I know that it's not unusual to be slow in the beginning, and sometimes if it's a no news Tuesday, there's no reason to do it. But it's just something just doesn't seem right to me. Now, if they break that low, if it were Wednesday and they kept selling it below 050, it would be cascading. Yeah, so there they finally did take 04. So they never really got to tick back up into that. Now some people seem to be interested in it. Just got to wait for one side or the other to get impatient. Well, I'm wondering if, it does appear that the shorts are in control at the moment. And I wonder if they just don't have enough incentive to try and push it yet. Like they need more people to buy it or something. That little move down actually ended up giving us a little spike in cumulative delta because of that, because it's been so slow. Like it was literally only a few hundred contracts, Well, actually, it was 2000, but it ended up being significant on the Dom. Till those fingers start itching. Yeah, I have to say, I'm a little weary of saying this, but it reminds me many times I have seen on a Tuesday when things look really dull and there doesn't look like there's really a very good setup or anything and there's no news and a monster trend will just pop up out of nowhere. And when it happens, things start really slow. Like it's kind of rangy and you'll just kind of have a, tick down, kind of like the trend that we had yesterday. But then it'll start getting to certain points and then all of a sudden it's like everybody realizes what's up and they all start piling on and it just keeps going and going and you keep seeing absorption on the bid and they blow through them and you're going through key levels all of a sudden. But I've seen it both ways. It either does that or it just literally does nothing all session. Okay, so the 5 year appears to be the leader right now. It was the leader when we ticked down. It did start to tick up there, but there's icebergs at 26 and a quarter. Actually, probably icebergs on both sides. Things did thicken up when they got down there, and they actually did tick into the low of the day in the 5 year. So, yeah, we need to smash the bid. I don't know. The other thing though is that often when I'm in a position, even if it's a winning position and it's been like more than 30 minutes and it doesn't like go, then that very often they turn around and then the other side wins. Okay, so bid offer are equal now in the 10 year again. Pretty close in the 5 year as well. And E-mini is a tad bit higher. I think I reset the Dom there at some point, right? Okay, so there's the E-mini moving up. You are in a good spot. You can afford to be patient. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm still a little nervous though. I can't sell 040 and be patient instead. So they ticked down. 04 went offer its bid again. Yesterday, value high is untested in ZB at 149.23, but a rally like that doesn't seem likely on a no news Tuesday. See, they're not. Okay, so that was a little bit more insistent. 2000 being offered now. And ES is seeing some buying. I have to say, there's a very unusual amount of pre-market activity in equities. Yeah, I said on Suyusal. Unusual. Okay. So they went offer, it had a good offer. Nobody ticked into 03 half. We ticked back up. Weak bid. Sell back down. Weak offer. Buys back up. Is ES going to continue this? Or is it turning? Well, it just got pushed down a little bit there. I can see that the yen is in a pretty clear and strong downtrend. Oops. Sorry about that. Need to find a way to turn that off. That whole, like, if you hover over a window, it like hides everything and focuses on just that. Yeah, we got a good number of people in now. Maybe everybody just woke up late today. They're getting in, they're launching up their down. They're like, oh, we're on a downtrend. Let's sell it. I can only hope. Okay. It's still, I mean, it's good that now it looks relatively balanced at 04 just because I'm above that. But I would much rather see a downtick and see them pressuring the 03 really strongly. I mean, having a zipper right here, having it being relatively uninterested, 2 ticks from the low of the day is a little weird, isn't it? So they're normally at that point thinking like, oh, they're going to go for it. Iraq sending teams to Tehran and Washington to halt tension between the United States and Iran, says Iraq Prime Minister. Iraq Prime Minister says there's no Iraqi group that wants to push U.S.-Iran tensions towards war. Iran's President Rouhani says Trump backed off on his threats against Tehran after seeing unity among the Iranian nation. I mean, that's kind of weird because I just don't think that Donald Trump wants to start a war with Iran, but they seem to have intelligence that Iran wants to do something. That might be saber rattling, or the intelligence might just be false, but they seem to be awfully tense over like nothing happening, right? Beto O'Rourke is going to have a CNN town hall tonight? I didn't see that. I never know about one of these town halls. I never watch CNN. I guess if we watch CNN, we would know, right? Okay, so now 04 half is pulling, and they take it easily. And the E-mini kind of coming back a point. CNN is going to have hundreds of town halls for all those Democrats, but it won't help their tanking ratings. Well, I tell you what, if they want to increase their ratings, they should start talking about abortion, right? That really seems to get people going, doesn't it? I think we'll have to continue our conversation from yesterday, but much later when we're not in a trade. Because I didn't mean to get into that thing. I would kind of miss the point. The point was had to do with risk. It was market related. Had to do with risk. Wasn't I got pulled off track there. Okay, so it does go offer again at 04 half. It goes offer at 04 half, but the 04 isn't doing anything. E-mini still looks very bullish. Wow, yeah. They just move up a tick in ES and the Treasuries start pulling. That's interesting. And I still say unusual amount of activity in the equity indexes this morning. Does that mean that equities are really bullish? Just trying to keep myself calm and focused here because I am like they're the thing was coming in today is I felt like that the E-mini hasn't been affecting treasuries as much as it normally it would. And now it seems like it's affecting it a lot, doesn't it? Ace is going to be busy before breakfast? Could be. It's going to be interesting to see where we're at the top of the hour, isn't it? I mean, if the E-mini was to take another step up higher here, um, to like a new overnight session high, I think that would really be something else. Are your palms sweating? Just a little bit. I still feel a little nervous because I'm like, I've got 2 ticks. I've been in this for almost 30 minutes now. You know, I don't like to be in the trade forever and only see 2 ticks in my favor, you know? And when I look at the E-mini, I'm like, well, it would really be something else to see us make a new high. But then that seems to be the only thing that makes the treasuries want to tick down. And so I think, well, maybe I should take it off at +2. But then I also still see some really good potential to the downside, and everything on the DOM seems to indicate that, like, they're going to want to test this. No. It's kind of weird. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time making sense of this action. Okay, so the bid pulled all the way to 300 at one point, but they didn't slide through it yet. So now it's like you're just getting a hard time getting any kind of market orders at all. You could legitimately work 04. Yeah, I mean, I would maybe be able to get an exit at 04. It's pulling, so I'm going to guess that um, if we do trade down, that this might pull and that there really may only be 400 real orders here at 04. But then that 400 may turn into an iceberg. But I think that there probably about 1,000 of this is fake. See, like they just pulled 500 off of it. My gut is saying ZV might trade up. Well, I don't know. Well, now that has it been 30 minutes? It's now been 30 minutes. So now that it's been 30 minutes, I can think about taking it off at +2. 2 ticks, yeah, that's bonds. Well, sure enough, it ticked up. Now that was interesting. They bought 3,000 just like that, huh? Hmm. Unless something's about to explode. Well, have to say there's something weird going on in equities, that's for sure. I can only think of one or two times in the recent past, the recent market regime that like let's say the past 6 months. I can only think of a few times in the last 6 months where the E-mini has traded this many contracts this early. And there's no news. It's a no news Tuesday. And treasuries are really slow. Hmm. Okay, so it took 3,000 to make it tick up, and then it just fell back down really easily. So, uh, some indications on the DOM here that the sellers are still in control. But again, you're not getting any strong indication that they're going to push it. See, my eyebrow is like, I have like an overactive sweat gland here, and I can feel the salt on my eyebrow burning it. Hmm. Okay, so that one was a little different because they had a little bit of a struggle there a few times, and the bid won and held 1,500 contracts. And it goes back down with only 500. Hmm. So now the bid is acting incredibly fishy. Sorry, the offer. The offer at 0.4 is. I guess I've been buying so much in the recent past that I'm like prone to say the bid. That's funny. BNB Nano Go. Talking about the our Nano. What was Nano called before that? So I remember when I first started streaming, I said, "Hey, I think this is a really good one. I don't have any money to put into it right now, but this is the one that I think is gonna go really well." And they went up like 16 times value or something like that. Like I was super shocked at how high it went. It's Ryblocks. That's what it was called. It was called Ryblocks. And everybody thought that I was a genius, and I was just like, well, I mean, the whole crypto space is going up. It's kind of was bound to happen with something. See that E-mini just appears they want to hit the offers. It's just pushing. But you can see now, and yeah, we're getting it. We're getting it in ES, but what are the treasuries doing? The treasuries are actually making O5 go weak. AVJ, hi there, just found your channel. How's it going? Well, thank you for joining us. I have to say, I feel a little nervous right now. And it's really, really slow. I've been sitting in this for about 30 minutes. I got 2 ticks out of it, and now it's going back to my break even though the equities are pushing up. So I don't know. If I stressed out, I would stop trading for a while. Yeah, I think yesterday I got a little stressed out. I actually think because on Saturday night I ended up staying up too late. Like I think I went to bed at like 2 a.m. or something. And I wonder if that's part of why my read yesterday was like just so absolutely terrible. Because when you look at it, it's like, well, okay, it doesn't look like any buyers are coming in. It doesn't look like buyers have it. And then this is bad and this is bad. But then I never took a short. Like, what the hell? Are you stressed? I mean, I feel slightly nervous. Okay, so here's E-mini. Looks like it is going to take out that overnight high. And we do get some selling here in the treasuries. Well, maybe we picked up enough buyers on here that they could go for the low again. I'm only along the ASX, so I understand very little of what I'm looking at. Okay, so let's try and explain it for you, okay? I have a bunch of different DOMs, so I'll just minimize these 2 so that you can only see one, right? So there's the DOM that I'm trading right here. Bring them back. Okay. The blue column, I'm going to highlight something. So here's the DOM that I'm looking. Here's the part that I'm trading. Okay. Here's my position. I'm short from 05. This column right here shows you how much you're making or losing. Okay. This blue column right here are bids. These are limit orders to buy at a certain price. And this column is offers, limit orders to sell at a specific price. These columns in the middle, this one is market sells, and this one is market buys. So I can watch that column in the middle and judge how many contracts actually traded into a particular price versus how much was being bid or offered there. So for instance, something that we're seeing is where I took my short from at 05, they seem to be pulling the offer there. They maybe they're scared, or maybe they are trying to lure people into buying it there. I don't know. And you can see it's traded back and forth here at 04 half a few times, but it didn't take very much to make it go. So the kind of action that we're seeing right now seems to indicate to me that there's not a ton of interest in the treasuries right now. That they is mostly just robots trading it. So the E-mini did go up and make a new high, and it's pulled back a little bit, but treasuries are still near the 05. That's interesting. So then I guess I should also mention these up here is the same thing. Like this is the same thing, and the white just shows you there was a stronger bid or offer there, right? Like we got these big bids below us, and you can see them there in the DOM, or sorry, in the Vista chart up top. And this is cumulative delta, which is market buys minus market sells. So we had a little bit of a sell, and then that's like almost all come off, and we're back equalized. And then this one is the 10-year. 10, 5, 30, and equities. Okay, so our price went bid 05.5 is weak. That's certainly not how you want your price to hold. It's pulling. It's pulling and iceberging at 05.5. Well, I think at this point, it's worth looking at ES and taking a short there. It's very disappointing. But I don't like it when my price acts like that, you know. Where could I do it at? It would have been a lot better to have done it at like 28.62. Right here, I'm not sure. Hmm. So it did go bid 05.5. I think it's significant that that price is going bid, but it still looks like not a ton of interest there. So we moved up and the interest hasn't increased. Okay, well, that's a little bit more. Somebody just got a slippage right there. Okay. So the treasuries are starting to freak out. Yeah. Uzi was right. So I don't see any news. JP Morgan raises probability of no deal Brexit to 25% from 15%. Well, you didn't buy it. Well, I don't know if it was like a really great trade. You know what, though? I don't know if what just happened there is a huge deal or not. Like that might have been everybody came in and was short. The bias was short. They're all just stopping out. Okay, so if everybody just got stopped out, it could it could turn around and go back the other way. The equities here mm, don't appear to me to be, well, I mean we moved down a little bit, but they're not really giving me a lot of running, you know. Okay, so that little tick was a little better. It's probably this spot right here, 28.58. I mean, just because it can turn doesn't mean it's going to result in a big ass rally. That doubt is what kept me from buying it. Yeah. It sucks. Like I really should have taken the +2 when we were talking about it too, right? It's like I said, like if I've been in a position for 30 minutes, you got to start thinking about taking it off. I think I probably should have said break even is what I probably should do. Hmm. So they're ticking up very easily in ZN, aren't they? Somebody seems worried to me. So the interesting thing was that the Wall Bear Zone was '05 to '08, and it's probably still a negative bias below 149.16. So what we might see is a little scare in ES, and then it might do what it did yesterday, right? Where you get a really big buy, and then all of a sudden it just stops for no reason, and then really, really strong downtrends after that, you know? Like what just happened was interesting. It's not, I don't think that it's conclusive though. It's okay. I feel better now, I guess. Still would have been good for a handful of ticks. Can't argue with money. Lucas says I am implementing a stop volume at break even, so it just doesn't take me out as soon as it hits the price. It works on a slow market like these, though. In a fast one, it could just go through the order easily. Yeah. Well, in a fast market, I mean, I like to use those stop orders. I mean, I use a stop volume for like my actual stop. Um, and it's not a stop limit one. So the worst that I've ever gotten is a tick. So I don't know if it's like a huge deal. If it was a stop limit, then that could be a problem. So you put the limit in, and then they don't fill it. The stop limit is really, really great for entries, though. Really, really great for entries. But yeah, I think that after 30 minutes, I should never accept a loss. I was a little bit too. As soon as I saw my price going weak, I should have been like, "Oh, hold the boat." So 1 point we got 7 ticks in our favor. We never got 8. Bird can hear the kids upstairs waking up. Sounds frustrated. So like that iceberg at 06 half. And look, the E-mini kind of, it was starting to look scary for a while, but it's come back okay. Kind of looks like they let it get there, but it was a controlled loss. You saw the pressure was against you and exited the trade. Yeah. I think that my even though I should have done it at break even and maybe I should have gotten out at +2, I think that I did see that there was something wrong and I got out, so that's good. And I think that yesterday my problem was um, hanging on much further than I should have. Like I could technically still be. I mean, if I give myself four ticks, I could be sitting in this and be saying, oh, there's an iceberg. Maybe I could get out. Now that I'm out, I could think about selling 06 half, except for that, 15 minutes before the equities open isn't really the best time, isn't it? There's a monster iceberg there to 06 half, though. I tried that last time and exited the trade at -7. Yeah, you can't. There's got to be like I think it's okay to have a mental stop like, okay, I don't want to lose more than two, but if I can see that I'm at two and something's going on that looks like it has a good probability of saving me and making it so that I maybe even I get profitable. And I've had that enough times happen to me that I think that it can be worth it. But you have to have like a hard okay, but never more than four. And then the one tick of stop slippage. That's what tilted me so much yesterday was ugh. Seeing that I got taken out on the slip was just made me so mad. Made me so mad at myself. Okay, they made 06 half go bid. It's not holding a strong bid though. And equities are having a hard time moving much of anywhere right now. Alligator says it went too far, needs at least a pullback pre-open. Like, I just look at this and Z on this move up is like, okay, there's a bunch of people short. They probably all got stopped out. Now somebody took a profit at 06 half. I don't know if they're actually going to push up from here. They are above the open. They've pushed further above the open than they pushed below the open, and they're almost above the VWAP now as well. So there's a good chance that they could continue through, but I'm not entirely sure. Also, the treasuries are buying up much more strongly than the 6J is going down. I'm just looking over here. The 6J is still at the low. They're kind of in a spot where you might potentially see some resistance, like 07 half. Yeah. 07 half is probably going to be sticky. Yes, also the news are late. Yeah. So, Alligator pointing out that there's not really a strong reason for them to be trading it. But they seem scared. To me, they seem scared. So I might have gotten my fill at plus 8 ticks. Uzi says, well darn. Because it's still going. I wonder if somebody is gearing up to just cream the indexes. You gotta wonder now at this point. I think that could be retailers, but I mean, okay, so there's a big, the thing is, here's a big stop, right? Or sorry, here's a big iceberg. Okay, so that's a profit taking area, right? You would guess that you would see a profile form around it now. And that's what you've seen. As they've gone through it for 2 ticks. So it's still not like, okay, this is gangbusters, buy ETF because this is going out. I'm gonna wait for an opportunity to sell because I still don't see ZB rallying to 23. I'm also feel like that they might be playing with our perceptions. Yesterday we had a strong move up, and as soon as we had that strong move up, it didn't go. It never broke the overnight high, and they came back, and then you got a very, very strong, steady trend down, right? That I think was what really screwed me over. I think I need to move this. I don't know where it needs to be, but okay. So then, are they going to do the same thing today? Like you have to be. I think everybody's sitting there thinking that, like, oh yeah, they could move up, and maybe they get here to 07.5 or 08, and it starts to look like it's really, really going to get ugly, and then it doesn't go, just like yesterday. But then but then it's the mind game, right? Because then it's like, but what if they want us to think that it's going to do that, and then this time they're going to break out and is just going to go, right? 10 would be the upside target, though. I have an X there, and that's where the point of control from yesterday was too. So if there is still room for upside. Lol, stop. Right? It's a total mind game here. I think that they're messing with us. I don't think I'd be selling it here, but if anything, I'd be thinking about buying it. But like maybe, uh, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see if they come back, and maybe at 05. Okay, you know what? I took a good trade here, but I didn't put it on the right account. NES. There seems to be quite a bit of Brexit stuff going on right now. Maybe that's part of why we moved up. I'm going to wait till the 12 to 16 zone. You know what? Another thing I should really point out that I think is probably more important than the other things that we've been saying, but I didn't realize until now. Okay, we had a pretty strong move up, but look at the bids below us. They didn't build at all. They're 4,000s all the way down. So this could completely roll back very easily. It's a big, big old gap. If they break 16, then I'd safely assume that they're going to break the other way. Well, they gave me the 8 and they're not going beyond that. I think I should take it off. Yeah. I do think maybe some of this move up was Brexit stuff. JP Morgan coming out and saying the probability of Brexit and all that stuff. Man, not filled there. Not getting anybody to sell into 28, 58, 25. Interesting. E-mini tried to buy 400 there and ran into a real wall. Even though the volume in the E-mini looks pretty long. Hmm. Not cooperating too much, is it? Treasuries seem to be catching a bit of a bid again. Nope, that looked good there for a second in the 5-year. It's not holding 27.5. All right, fine. One out before the equity opens. Okay. Whew. Do you have any recommendations between trading the ETH or RTH as far as trading E-mini? Okay, so I guess it depends a lot on you and the style of trading that you want to do. I'm trying to catch really, really small scalps. And so the thing that I've found has worked best for me is to just stay out of that open. So I'm totally down with taking a trade, especially at the top of the hour. Like we tend to get pretty reliable small move before the open. Today we did get it. I didn't get as big of a winner off of it as I should have, but that was about what I expect is 8 to 16 ticks. But then here in the open, you can see we've already moved well beyond that range, and so that's why I stay out of it. As I let them go for the first 15, 30 minutes, decide where they're actually going. So far, there's been a lot of selling, but look, they're pushing the highs. So not incredibly strong. There was a lot of volume a lot earlier in the session, and now it's not. On the open, it's nothing unusual. So I'm kind of thinking if I can find a spot in the treasuries that I might take a +2. I don't know if I can expect any more than that, though. They are pushing up. It's equal again. So another thing that's unusual today is that the bid and offer has been very equalized in the 10-year. Many times. It usually doesn't sit like that for very long. Well, this might just go like I'm worried that the treasuries are just going to come completely back, but I don't want to be involved in this time frame. So I'll just kind of sit out. You do see, it's interesting. You can tell when equities get going, there's more people watching on the stream. So I guess it's better to wait 15 to 30 minutes until the market settles down a bit before taking any trades. I tend to get stopped out a lot in the first 15 minutes or so. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The only time that I would ever keep it on is like if I had a good trade that's already caught a lot of range on it, and then on the open, there's a very clear, strong volume one way at the very beginning. You'll see it like on the open, on the Vista chart, you'll see cumulative delta change of like 5,000 contracts, like literally right on the open. That's when you go, oh, okay, I can hold this because they're going to trend it. But the way that this is right now, yeah, it's better to wait. Like the first 5 minutes is definitely the most crazy, but sometimes it takes them 15, 30 minutes, and especially on a day like today where doesn't feel to me like that there's a really strong reason for people to be trading it. I would be concerned about getting caught in a meat grinder. And we're at kind of like a so it was if I come back over here to my chart, see this level over here in the equities on the 30-minute chart. So there was the low on the 19th, and then there was a higher high right here that got filled. So now we're coming back up, and they're testing that. If they push through, if this really is a bull run, they could, they'll go up to 2870, and then, maybe even 2900, I guess. No. Wait, what is it? 20, I can't see. Oh, yeah, 2890. Top of that. It's possible if they have a really good run. But there's going to be resistance here. It does seem like there is some resistance, like there's some buying, but it's not getting through yet. Treasuries certainly moved there. I think it's been 5 minutes, so I can think about taking one in the treasuries. See if they fill me. I don't think they will. Pulled. Okay. So they did fill me. I got swept in. They seem to be reacting and pulling a little bit too much. So I might be a little bit too early. If this does work out, I think that 4 is plenty to ask from it. Hmm. Hmm. So see, this is exactly the sort of thing. I think I should have waited a little bit longer. I mean, like it's okay in Treasuries, right? Because even though it's been doing all sorts of crazy stuff, it's only one tick. But uh, good morning, Zalidia. There was an iceberg there at '07 still. Hmm. Okay, so they're having a hard time holding an offer here at '06 half. They're trying to defend it. The E-mini is showing positive cumulative delta though. Oh, bring back the DOMs. Here, I'm sorry. I'm so bad today. I'm just off on the screen switching game because of the freaking restream chat widget in OBS isn't working. Okay, that's a little better. It was looking good, but they're not taking it. They're pulling based off of the ES still probably. This is going to be that one where like, okay, so now we're waiting for the E-mini to make a regular session high, and uh, when it happens, the treasuries aren't going to do anything. That's how that one usually goes, right? And the level 2 is dancing around a lot here. Both sides have pulled a ton. That pull to 1200 seems like unjustified to me. There was a lot. They had to push through a lot more than was actually being shown there at '06 half. So some signs that the sellers are actually more in control. Except for you gotta get that '06 to pull. So far, the volume in the E-mini looks like they could be good to go for a new high. I don't know if that's going to cause treasuries to fall all the way down, but see, there's ES thinking about it. He's like, well, it's awfully close. It's only like 8 ticks away. It'd be fun. It'd be really fun. Why don't you try it? Yeah. Buyers are starting to make a little headway there. Treasuries did tick down. Okay. They're fighting it. Don't fight it. That just makes it things worse. Okay. Yeah, they really don't want it to do it. uh, Still seeing some indications that sellers are in control here because they're iceberging at oh 06 now, even though the offer looks really weak. They've traded 1200 at oh 06 here. Okay, now they're only 4 ticks away from a high in ES. I'm gonna do it this time. I believe in you, E-mini. Nope. This whole game here just always confuses me. It's like you're like 4 ticks away. Like, why wouldn't you just do it? Please excuse my spelling. I can't type fast. Oh, question. 20-year VPOC, 10-year VPOC, and yesterday's balance to hit through, wouldn't it be better to wait until these values or areas are broken before entry? So that might be, yeah, no, I understand. You're fine. So I think what you're saying is that maybe this isn't the best place to take a trade, right? And I don't think that that's unreasonable. But I'm taking like super, super small trades here, especially today. Like, really, what I want is that. I kind of had it out just in case, but really what I want is that 05.5. No, I didn't take a long, I took a short. Okay, so the E-mini tried that high and they're coming off and they're testing the other way now. They didn't do it. Well, I don't know, guys. So now they're testing the low. They got to that low awfully easily. Man, that just really fell apart quickly on me, didn't it? There was a big iceberg at oh 06.5 though. And they're still making it go offers, so I'm not completely panicking yet. I'm a little upset though. Well, the ES really bounced off of the overnight VWAP there. Can they get above the regular session VWAP? Well, we got there really easily. I have to think. Could do just about anything now. Except for that there's a bunch of buyers there at like 06.5 that are going to be very upset if 06 goes offer. Yeah. You're going to have to build a bigger offer than that to make them freak out. But if I had bought at 06.5, I'd be upset right now. Yeah, so live action. I still want to. I know you removed your message because you misspelled it, but I didn't quite understand what the price levels that you were looking at were, because I do like to know. It, those aren't things that I was really looking at, so I can't say if they were like significant to the trade or not. But we can take a look at it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe that would be a good idea or not. I was kind of looking at like on the upside, if they do move to the upside, to that it could be at 10. But here we were like right at the VWAP, and they're having trouble just with that. And the E-mini is looking fairly bullish still, in fact. And we didn't build bids below us on this move up. That's the biggest thing for me right now, is that we had a strong move up, but they didn't build up bids behind it. It was still 4,500 all the way through, which means that there's a really good chance that this whole thing just retraces. Okay, so the E-mini, even though they did test those lows, they bounced very quickly, and they're back up to that high area, and they are having this little battle again. Oh, okay. Love you. Bye bye. I'm taking the kids to school today. Lucky me. So if I was sitting there at 05 half, I don't think that I would have gotten filled. See, like they're able to creep up 4 ticks within it so easily, and then all of a sudden they start getting this fight. Come on, go for it. There's so many juicy stops, guys. Like, look, there's at least 1,500 contracts that you're about to stop out there if you just go for it. Just go for it. See, they can't even hold the 28, 61, 25. Well, they could go back and forth here for a while, and then eventually they do it. So it's not like a huge big deal, but I don't like that. A look and trade around balance on a bar chart, preferring to take trades as close to balance as possible. I was told that prop traders can be defunded if they enter too far from balance. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I've never heard that. I don't necessarily like to be, so like when I look at the volume profile, like where we are at right here, okay, there's a little thing there, and then there's a big thing here and a little thing here. It's a very uneven distribution profile, but I am close to the middle. And that is not something that I like. I would prefer to be getting on the outside and having a move that immediately puts me in the money. Now this fill here at 06 half was good, but you see it's not behaving particularly great yet. I've had some things that have helped me, but I would very much prefer to have gotten more than 2 ticks out of that. So here they're testing the low again, and yes, they're gonna bounce hard again. I think that I better well, let's just see. I don't think that it's time to panic quite yet. The thing is when they get down to the low area, there's a lot of delta low. But they're not just going, right? Nope. So that's not positive. So there they were going for it, and like, look, it's like they're not that interested. They're interested in taking the high. They're not really interested in taking the low, and yet they get down to the low so easily, and they have to fight so hard to get to the high. Seems a little backwards to me. There's some real resistance. Okay, well, I'm detecting that there may be a little bit of turn in volume here in ES now. So we've had a decent amount of selling, and now they're starting to build some cumulative delta long. And treasuries have been stuck in this area quite for some time. Okay, so they took a significant step there. There's a lot of traded at 06.5. It looks like that may become the new point of control. Sitting here waiting, with a market like this is, I think, starting to get to me. Like my mouth feels dry. I feel frustrated. Okay. There's the sellers trying pushing down again. It's fighting. I do see some bids firming up below us in the E-minis. It's like it knows that I'm sitting here waiting for a fill, and they're gonna dink around forever until I give up. Which futures are you trading now? This is the 10-year. Either way, that reminds me, where are we at on Bitcoin? Oh, it's still below 8. Interesting. I don't know if price points like that matter too much in Bitcoin, but it seems like they've been having a hard time maintaining 8,000. Okay, so I am seeing there has been a turnaround in cumulative delta, but they're not getting above that VWAP. And treasuries still kind of look like they want to try and push higher. Okay. Well, they can make '07 go off for bid, but I don't know. Did you lose your hair from trading? No, I lost all of my hair before trading. I got some gray hairs on my chest from trading, though. Why are so many traders bald? Um, I don't know if that's really there is, but it's probably because a lot of traders are in their 30s, right? And they go down to the low again. I tell you what, this thing that I'm having happen right now is giving me gray hairs. I should have not taken a trade because this is just really bad action. It should not be this hard to get a tick in your favor. It seems like you've got some very conflicted interests in the equity indexes right now, and treasuries don't seem to have a reason to want to trade. Oh, okay, so we do get some news here now, don't we? I forgot. Existing home sales. We're expecting 5.35 and we got 5.19, so it was worse than expected. Market didn't seem to react to it though. I don't do anything to make my head shiny. It's just the lighting. In fact, I try to keep it not shiny. Like I would prefer it to be the skin to be a little bit matte, absorb that light a little bit. But no, apparently not. Who do you use to trade Bitcoin with? So I use like pretty much everybody. I think I've made an exchange on almost every major crypto exchange that accepts US customers. Um, yeah. I look fresh today. Well, you know what? I think so. Here's the thing. We should talk about this now. Now that we're in this, and we only got 30 minutes, and I'm feeling a little trite, but I think that we might be okay. But yesterday sucked. Holy crap! No, I don't think so. We know Heidi's been around for a while, and I know that she means well, and that she's not trying anything. Um, but no, yesterday was a really bad day for me, right? And I felt like so terrible afterwards. Yeah, this is uneventful. Man, it's just a meat grinder in ES. It does look like that. I do think that they're going to try and go to that high end of their range again, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, focus, Seth. Yesterday, after trading and like going into work and everything, I felt so shit faced. Like, oh my gosh, it was just like my face felt weird. Like that last stop, catching some slippage on that last trade that went bad, and 3 in a row is when I stopped. Yeah, it felt really, really, really bad, and I felt kind of iffy like the whole day. And then I went to the gym, and it was a pretty brutal workout. Well, it was a lot of volume and timed sets and everything, so it really got my heart going, and that made me feel so much better, so much better. Oh, 6.5 is just going back and forth. It's like they know exactly where I took my trade. He's watching the stream and he knows exactly where I made my trade, and it's like, we're gonna make the market just range around here until Seth gives up, and then we'll move it. So I came home. On the way home, I was feeling great, and I had the music going, and I kind of had some like thoughts, like, like there was some things that I was doing wrong, and some things that I wish I had said that I hadn't, or whatever. But the thing that just bothers me, and the thing that I was trying to get at yesterday when we were talking yesterday, was the thing that bothers me in society isn't the nanny state thing. I'm not like a libertarian, right? The government should, if there is something that harms society, then you should stop it. And it's kind of like everything has a positive and negative, and you kind of have to weigh the both sides to see what the right thing to do is in that particular situation. So it's not the nanny state that bothers me. What bothers me is that nobody wants to take on risk. That's what bothers me. Nobody wants to take on risk, and they want to prevent other people from taking on risk too. So like this whole thing with payday loans, like, don't get me wrong, payday loans is like a bad idea. Like, you're paying way too high of an interest rate and you shouldn't be doing it. But consider this. You are more likely to pay off your payday loan than you are to become a successful futures trader, right? So like, when you put it from that perspective, it's kind of like, why is it that we need to go in and stop anybody from ever doing something risky? If they want to make that choice, it's their choice. As long as they understand what they're doing. Taking the risks is the only way that you grow. If you never take risk, you can't, GDP will stay low forever, and we'll just spiral into a debt spiral, and we have to take risks. That's what I was really trying to get at before we got sidetracked by abortion. But and that's how it relates back to trading, right? Most people have never taken serious risks in their life. Certainly nothing like futures trading, and it's just too scary for them, and we've got to get over that in our society, I think. Wrong agrees with me. The thing is that I feel like that us, the few traders that are dumb enough to do this, we're like the few people left in society that understand this. And I think that it is our obligation to go out into the world and say, yeah, bad things do happen. Sometimes we take a risk, and somebody gets greedy and they leverage up too high, and they take a risk that is way bigger than the market's ability to absorb, and it screws everybody over. But we have to be willing to take risks on sometimes. We do everything that we can to avoid it. We do everything so that if it happens, that it's not the end of the world, but it's still going to happen. You cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. And the more that you try to set everything up so that nobody can ever take risk, the uglier it's going to be when all of your controls inevitably fail. Okay, so what do you do for work? I am a programmer. I work at a healthcare exchange. And yes, I'm trading the 10-year futures on this CME. Well, the Chicago Board of Trade, yeah. But I mean, it's really all this CME, right? But ZN is the symbol. If you use payday loans to trade, you are really in trouble. Oh yeah, totally. I don't think that, could you get a payday loan that would be enough to trade on? I had a friend, and he did Forex. He took out a loan. I don't know how much it was, but he took out a loan at the bank, at the credit union, and then he went and he traded it. And I think that he made $20,000 from it, and he bought a new car, and then he stopped, and that was the end of it. He paid it back. He paid for the car, and that was like all he needed or something. Because it was kind of interesting when he told me that he did that. I was like horrified. I was like, "You did what?" He didn't tell me when. He wouldn't tell me when it happens because he knows that I would freak out. But he told me like a few years later, and I'm like, "You did what? That's how you bought that car? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?" And it's nice it's a Subaru, but people do it all the time and get away with it. Just saying. But yeah, he probably got lucky. How much have you lost trading so far? So if you combine all of my trading ventures together, I am positive. Okay. If you combine just trading the 10-year note, the thing was is a year I had like a really good run, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to take it live. And then as soon as I went live, it was like the wrong time of year, and I just totally fell apart. And so I think I lost like $700 before I stopped trading it. And then I started trading it again a little bit here, and I don't plan on like trading it forever, but I did want to get in a few trades here in May before the summer came. And I made a little bit this year. But yesterday I gave a lot of it up. That's what made me so mad. Was I had such an amazing win streak, and then I had to go and sully it by you know, I think having 3 wrong trades in a row is unusual for me. And I usually stop there. I mean, that's where I stopped. But then the last one, I caught slippage and I lost 5 ticks on it. That really pissed me off. Yeah, I haven't lost that much. The thing that I feel like that the retail industry has wrong is we feel like there's this rush to take on more risk than your account can handle. It's like if you only have $1,000 in your account, you really can't afford to risk a whole lot in the treasuries, right? Really, you want to be like 5,000 in your account, and I don't have that much. Mm, but people still want to rush into doing it live. Of course, you do need to go live because the emotions are different. I mean, yesterday taking that loss live definitely affected me, but I'm trade mostly on habit, so I still think I tend to make the same trades that I would have made anyways. Anyways, irrelevant. Get good on Sim first. You can trade Sim for a long time. You can trade Sim for years if you have to. It's not looking good, guys. Blame Game of Thrones for being over that has everybody messing up. How do you make money trading under 30K? Well, you just make it a tick at a time and you just make little bits of money. And it's just a hobby, so it doesn't have to be, you don't have to swing for the trees, guys. You can take just a little, 4 ticks a day is a good goal, I think, in the 10-year. If you can get 4 ticks a day, I think you're in a good place. Well, they seem to make more progress when they're selling, don't they? They make progress, but then it seems like all of a sudden they get like not interested in it. Like when they were at the high, it was fighting. It was fighting, and this one is like they go down. I don't think so. Up 4 ticks. Look at that. What do you think of Bitcoin prices? So I think that Bitcoin is overpriced right now. When my garlic coin goes up and I have hundreds of dollars in garlic coin, I think something's up. Okay, there's an iceberg at 07. I don't like that. I sold most of my Bitcoin above 8K. Well, if you got out at 8K, you got it good. The thing is that I have an indicator. So if you go to the Patreon link in the video description, you can see my Bitcoin charts that I post every day. And my charts have been saying for quite some time that Bitcoin is very overvalued, like historically high overvalued levels. And Bitcoin above 8K is at prices that almost always results in immediate crashes. So it was not surprising to me when we sold below 8K. And the last few times that it's done this, it kind of fights around a little bit before inevitably giving it up. So I expect that the most likely scenario is that Bitcoin is going to fail here, but you never know for sure because they can sure can, you know, they sure can buy it, you know, at an irrationally high price. Now, if it falls, my indicator says that like a reasonable buying location is more around like 1500. But we are getting a lot more blockchain activity, so that might change. It might be higher, it might be closer to 3 or 4. And then maybe I could buy it. So I'm disappointed because it goes up and I wasn't able to buy it because the indicator said no. So that's where it is. I have one rule: never sell the bottom. Well, how do you know where the I will wait for the levels Uzi is waiting. So do you think I don't know. This is still a real meat grinder in the ES? Like it looks scary and then it doesn't do anything. But now I'm looking at that I need to get going in 15 minutes because I have to take the kids to school. So I'm hoping that the buy in the E-mini comes here and we go up to the higher end of this range and maybe even break out. I would love to buy a 1500. Yeah, well, that's where my indicator was saying that it was going to go. The concern I have in my mind now at this point is that the indicator has never done this. This particular bull run in Bitcoin is especially unique. It has never done this. There is not a lot of blockchain activity behind it. Now, could that mean that there's price manipulation? I mean, that's been the theory. And this whole thing with Bitfinex that's been going on, I think, is a really, really good candidate to explain it. And yet, nothing happens. So, I don't know. I mean, if it really is Bitfinex and the whole thing falls apart, then man, 1500 is very possible, right? Because that does mean there's all that manipulation has to come out. It's being awfully stubborn today. It's so hard to get it to even move a tick. If that were true, bubbles wouldn't exist. Anything below the 8% retracement in entire sector is the buy zone. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is Bitcoin will fall 50%, 80% in a day. I mean, I'm telling you. That's the concern. Like, the problem I have with it is because it's speculation, it can totally move up against the indicator. Even though the indicator literally has like 100% historical probability, and I've been forward trading this thing, and I've caught really good bottoms and tops 5 times now. The probability that at some point they break it and they go beyond it are really, really high. And who knows how far they're going to go before reality sets back in. You know, that makes it a tough trade. But you have to sit down and consider that Bitfinex is under investigation. We know for a fact that not all of the tether was backed by dollars, in direct contradiction of what they were telling us, what they've always told us, and what they were telling us at the time. They were lying to us at the time. And there is a very high probability that the feds are going to charge them with something, and who knows how bad it's going to be. They could shut down Bitfinex and Tether completely. I think that that's a very high probability of that happening. High enough that I would be really concerned if I held any Bitcoin. And this rise was driven very much by people exiting Tether into Bitcoin. So if that's the case, is that's really a bull run that you really want to be involved in? I personally, I don't think so. I would not use Bitfinex as a measuring stick. Well, I mean, if it's 80% of the cryptocurrency market, this might be the perfect storm forming. Yeah. I mean, it really is like, you think about it, okay, Bitfinex falls apart, you get a Mount Gox like crash, but you have it happen when we're closer to the bottom in Bitcoin, or at least, you're not anywhere close to all-time highs. That's going to be ugly, and you're going to get a lower high and a lower low, and Bitcoiners, they really believe in technical analysis, right? That's going to really affect their longer term view. It's going to screw up all of their charts. Okay, well, now we are starting to test the high. They don't look as interested in pushing that high as they did the first few times that they touched it. It looks like they don't know. It looks like they've decided that this is a meat grinder and they don't want to go. Okay, well, there was a little bit of buying there. In the ES. I've got about 10 minutes. I should generate my charts at least, so I can start posting that. Now I've got to stay focused. Okay, well, I don't think I'm going to get my +2. I think I need to scratch it, given that I've got 10 minutes left. It's starting to look better, though. How is bad news hitting the crypto market helping Bitcoin go up? That's an interesting question. So the thing you got to remember, Tether is a cryptocurrency that is supposed to be one-to-one backed by dollars. So you can go to Tether at any time and exchange one Tether for $1. All right. So 80% of the market's volume has come from people trading Tether for Bitcoin or whatever, and they've bought a lot of Bitcoin with Tether. And the reason that happens is that if you're a whale, a lot of these exchanges don't have a way for you to put that many dollars on the exchange. And so that instead they go to Tether, who will give you as much Tether as you give them dollars, so they keep millions of dollars. And that's where the volume comes from, right? So if Tether if Tether is insolvent, then what you want to do is you don't want to hold any Tether. Most of all, you don't want to hold any Tether. And so they sold all of their Tether for Bitcoin, and that moved up the price of Bitcoin. And they had printed a lot of Tether too. Like, they were already printing a lot of Tether and buying a lot. Look at that. You know what? Like I sit here and I'm like, somebody has to be watching and doing this thing on me. And he ticks it up at 07 and sticks a 3K bid on there. Fuck you, man. It pisses me. I'm pissed. Like, all right, fine. Shouldn't have to work that hard for a tick, but here we sat here the whole session and it didn't do anything. I'm glad that I didn't take a ton of trades and that I was patient and that I wasn't looking for a ton, but it still shouldn't be like this. Shouldn't be like this, folks. It's bad trading. Very frustrating for me. That's action that I would rather be out of. But they really just don't even want to let me have a tick. Okay, so they put a 30,000 bid and they sold through it. And the E-mini is testing those highs again. Maybe we can get to. Let's just wait and see. I'm just gonna. So that right there, though, the bid that we saw at 07, even though they sold through it, it still makes me mad. So they're definitely messing around with us. I'm just posting these charts here. Okay. Not just going through 06 half. They did not break the high in ES, did they? They came close again, but they didn't do it. It sucks because you know that as soon as I leave, E-mini's going to go and break the highs, and it's just going to be like, it's just going to go. Okay. Really short note today on the Patreon, but for you guys that subscribe, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that it's useful to you. I know that some people have told me that they've saved a lot of money with it. So thank you. What should we do? Yes. We need to go and post a comment here on the stream. So if you guys scroll down here on the stream, you can you know there's a chat box, but then if you scroll down, there actually is the comments too. Go and leave a comment about how your trading session went. I'm going to scroll down. There actually is. I'm going to post that. Oh, that was like the most frustrating session ever. There we go. So there's a bunch of things about Tether and so forth here, comments that I don't think really have time to address, but got about 4 minutes. They're hitting into 06 half. Suppose I've got to because I got to go, and who knows how long it's going to take to get the fill here. Look at this. Let me out, please. Please, sir, I want to fill. Needler's on a tangent with McGann not testifying. The McGann testifying thing is really interesting. The thing is that Democrats are all like, well, if you don't testify, then we're going to impeach you. And it's like, okay, then go and do it. Because you've been talking about doing it for how long now? And you didn't do it? I want them to do it, to be honest. I voted for Donald Trump and I like Donald Trump, but I think that the impeachment proceedings would be fun. That's just the way that I am. Okay, Well, 3,000 traded at oh 06 half, so scratching it there, I guess, is okay. So we lost $10 today, and I'm glad that I didn't take too many trades because, that could be action that could really screw me over. Maybe we'll get something tomorrow, but I have to say things are starting to really change and getting very range bound. Not very good trading for scalping. And thank you to the new guys who showed up today. So the Binary Bank and Live Action. Nice meeting you. And of course, all our regulars, Lucas, Uzi, Shalom, new guy this week, but I've enjoyed talking to you. Yeah. So I guess that's it. I've got to run. I will catch you guys tomorrow, and hopefully it's not so bad. But in the meantime, stay profitable.